Hey, good morning. Good morning. This is Iron Sharpens Iron. I'm Matt. And today, the question I have for you is very simple. And that question is this: when things happen around you, when life happens around you, do you look at it as something that's happening to you, or is it something that's happening for you? Now, the difference may seem very subtle, and some people may not realize there's a difference at all. But that subtle difference is where all of your power really, truly lies. See, I've said it before. There's two things we can control in life. We can control our attitude and we can control our actions, and that's it. And when things happen around us, our attitude dictates whether it's something that's happening to us or it's something that's happening for us. Everybody knows what a dictionary is. A dictionary is a book that has a list of words, and each of those words has a definition. So using a dictionary tells you what a word means. Well, the difference between 2 and 4 is something called a distinction. And there's somebody that in my life challenged me not too long ago to have a distinctionary. And a distinctionary, similar to a dictionary, is a list of words, but instead of defining the words, it defines the difference between two words, the distinction between each of two words. And the distinction between 2 and 4 is very subtle, but it's very important. See, I was in line at a coffee shop the other day, and while I was ordering, I heard a young lady behind me start banging on her laptop. She started tapping on the screen. I could hear her hitting the keys repeatedly, and I heard her say, this stupid computer, why is it always doing this to me? And that's kind of what got me thinking about this. This is a distinction I've made a long time ago, but it brought up this thought. Things can either happen to us or they can happen for us. And it's all in our mindset. The power is completely 100% ours. See, when things happen to us, we become a victim. We get stuck as, a non-player character in those circumstances. Or we can be a main character and we can decide that maybe we don't like what happened, but we can choose our attitude and we can choose our response. So these things are happening for us. And maybe it's a negative thing. Maybe it's a positive thing. It's irrelevant. Either way, it becomes a stepping stone that we take control over and we say, how can I use this to my advantage? How can I use this to benefit me and the people around me? See, when we look at something as something that's happening to us, we become a victim and we get stuck in that mode of thinking that we're helpless and everything's just happening around us and we're just a reed being blown by the wind. But that's not us. That's not the life I want to live. And I hope that's not the life you want to live. So that distinction is very subtle. The distinction is 2 and 4. The distinction is the difference is really only one letter. But the mindset shift, the outcome, and the possibilities that come from it are endless. So when something happens, what are you going to do to take control of it? What are you going to do to not be a victim? What are you going to do to take the power back and become that main character in your life? Or are you just going to be a victim and be an NPC going through life? Looking at things as just something out of your control, something that's happening to you. Are you going to personalize everything? The other thing about personalizing life is this is the one chance you have. This is your life. And when you give away all your power, you literally become an extra in somebody else's movie. You become the background character or background person on a busy street in somebody else's movie. It's not the life I want. That's not the life I want for you. So start writing that distinctionary today and start with these 2 words if you don't already have one. The difference between 2 and 4. Take that power back. Challenge yourself, motivate yourself to do some main character stuff. I've heard a phrase from, I'm pretty sure I heard it from a gentleman named Dr. Clint Ledeen, who was teaching a class at City Life Church in San Francisco. And he's a guy who used to be he was a professional basketball player. Now he's a life coach. And one of the things that he said was that every setback is a setup for a comeback. And when you have that mindset that anything that happens to you, any setback or anything positive, is really a setup for a step up or for a comeback. Every obstacle in life is something that can block your path, or you can use it as a stepping stone to reach even higher heights. If you climb on top of that obstacle, you're going to be able to reach new heights. And when mistakes happen, when setbacks happen, yeah, it's annoying. Yes, you might lose some money. Yes, you might lose time. You might lose some progress. But the thing is, you gain the world and experience. And that's the perspective I want you to have. That's the perspective I have in life. Just because something doesn't work out doesn't mean you failed. As long as you learn something from that process, you're a better person, you're a bigger person, and you have more experience and more tools in your belt to go forward. And that's the attitude I want you to have. I'm gonna wrap it all up with this. When something happens, do you look at it as something that happens to you, or do you look at it as something that happens for you? Here's a perfect example. It's early in the morning. I just dropped my older son off at school earlier than he usually wants to get there because he wants to hang out with friends at the breakfast table. And at first I was irritated. You know, he called me, he woke me up earlier than I wanted to get up, and I was like, man, you could have told me this last night. I would have been prepared. I was a little bit irritated, but in that moment I was like, okay, well, this is an opportunity for me to do something. So I dropped him off at school. I can blame all kinds of stuff, and I can say this is something bad that's happening to me, I'm irritated, or I can say this is something that's happening for me. So what can I get out of this? Well, check this out. Because of this, because I got up early, I get to enjoy this beautiful sunrise over this little lake right here. So this is something that I can say, you know, it happened to me. I'm going to take the power back. I'm going to say this is something that's happening for me. And I'm going to take advantage of this situation. I'm going to enjoy this beautiful sunrise. So good morning. Happy Thursday. I will see you guys in the next video. If you got something out of this, do me a favor. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you want to hear these little motivational minute videos in the morning, or, you know, when I make them later in the day sometimes. Do me a favor. Share this video with somebody that you know who needs some encouragement. Let's be the iron that sharpens the people around us. Let's be that catalyst for change in the world around us. So until next time, I'm Matt. This is Iron Sharpens Iron. Thank you for watching.